Hi, I'm Cicely and welcome to my channel. This was originally meant to be a mango haul because I was so excited that they extended their size range for their main collection, and I was really wrong about the sizing, so now it's going to be a review of their extended sizes and a quick size comparison since I did reorder an item that I really liked. So for me, this all started when I saw this beautiful green jacket and I was just so into it. I am someone who really likes the kind of Chanel inspired tweed boucle matching set style, and when I saw this jacket and then saw that it came with a matching skirt, I saw and like immediately in my mind so many different ways I could wear it, from like the classic way to kind of like a grunge, you know how Chanel does like kind of like an edgy rocker style type of thing sometimes. Anyway, saw this, immediately checked out the website and realized that Mango no longer had Violetta, which I think they had up until at some point last year, because I ordered a sweater from them last year that never actually arrived. They ran out before they could fulfill my order, but I digress. They no longer had Violetta. They had just like integrated their lines and extended their size range, which was exciting to me because even though I did like Violetta, I would browse for them to get nice staples. I would see really cute items on people on Instagram and YouTube and hauls and things like that, and then go online and it was not a Violetta item, it was a Mango item. So I was excited to see that maybe I could get some pieces like that jacket that, you know, would come in my size. So after seeing that jacket, I like immediately placed an order. I had no idea really what size. I've only had one item from them before that's made it, and it was a jacket. It was from Violetta. I think that was in a large for their plus size sizing, which is a completely different size range. They ran their own thing, so it was not a good reference for picking sizes exactly, or at least I didn't find it helpful, especially for a jacket or like a coat, not even a jacket, like a coat. So if you want to see like some quick try-ons, I am going to do that as I talk about items a little bit later, and especially for the size comparison for the item that I got in a new size once I realized that my sizing was just completely wrong. But for now, I'm going to talk a little bit about their size charts and just kind of like my approach to even looking at size charts. So generally, I base my sizes around kind of like what I found to be the right measurements from J. Crew and H&M, and in some cases some Nordstrom when it's like a Nordstrom brand. And for me, that usually runs as being like a size 16, sometimes a size 18, depending on where I'm at. Like some like very forgiving stores, like a size 14. Unlikely. But what that turns out to be, these aren't my actual measurements, but these are measurements on size charts that I usually kind of use as my own guide, is like somewhere around a 43 bust, like down to 42 is usually fine because that's not like the defining factor, but I try not to go above like a 44 or 45 because it just looks really boxy. I have kind of narrow shoulders, and so if it gets too busty, the shoulders are usually also pretty big. And then I will go for a size 36 waist. I try not to go below a 36, but sometimes the 35 is fine as well. Like 37, 38 is good. And then I usually don't look at hip measurements, but I think like a lot of times it'll be like a 44, anywhere between a 44 and 48, actually. I do have the size charts. I will put this up on the screen, but for J. Crew, it's like a size 16, extra large. It's like a 43.5 bust, 35.5 waist, and 45.5 hips. And that's usually good. If it's just like a bottom or something that's not stretchy at all, I will go ahead to get like the 18 extra large, 1X in some cases, and that is a 46 bust, a 38 waist, and a 48 hip. H&M is really similar. It has like a range though, because they do a lot of like not specific sizes. Like they'll do extra large, extra, extra large, and I will usually just get an extra large or a 16 or an 18. Like their 16 runs from 42 to 44 and a half bust, and like a 36 and a half to 39 waist. So that's usually good. And then that's kind of how I measure. Anyway, all of those sizes to say that that is kind of what I was looking for when I was looking for Mango. The first issue I encountered that I wasn't even really aware of until later is that their sizes go up to I think 4X, but in creating it, they have a size chart or different size charts for different items, of course. So their like dresses and shirts skip 1X and 2X. So it goes from extra, extra large to a 3X. And then, which like kind of makes sense, but for jackets specifically, they, and I think maybe even like knitwear and things like that, they have added in a 1X and a 2X. So it's almost like they go from straight sizing to plus sizing and include those because like bodies change the bigger they get. There's lots of different ways things fit. So was unaware of that, but even basing this off of like a size chart, well, actually, especially basing this off the size chart without the 1X and 2X, it looked like the extra extra large would be really big. Like I think it was like a 48 bust, and I got it anyway just because going lower, especially for a brand that doesn't have like that didn't have extended sizing in that collection before, it seemed like it just wouldn't work. So I think I got like something in an extra large, one of the jackets, and then most things in an extra extra large, maybe one thing in a large that was like a really stretchy. And so yeah, I think that was like a 48 bust. I will put that up. And so already looked iffy. When I went back and figured out that there was another size chart for jackets, the extra extra large was like a 43 bust. So even then, it seemed like it would be a perfect fit, but that wasn't quite the case. It was overall really confusing. If you have purchased from Violetta before, then like there's kind of like a size conversion, which like I said, I've only ever had the coat and that was not helpful for me. But if you've been purchasing from them and getting things consistently, you might have had a better idea because it'll say like, oh, this 12 is the large in the old plus size range or this whatever, you know, so it was a little bit more helpful. Overall, no matter what chart I looked at, like it seemed like extra extra large would be the best bet. The skirt that I got at an extra extra large was just like a plain disaster. Did not go up really anywhere at all for me. Like could not have pulled it over my head, could not have made that work. I did get a cardigan and I honestly got it because like I don't own a lot of like army things. By army I mean like BTS army, and it looked kind of like an army symbol, and I thought, oh, that'll be cute, it'll be subtle. I can't say that I definitely won't keep it, but like I would never button it up because it doesn't fit like loosely the way. So I feel like usually I should cut my losses, and maybe I'm just not meant to because I don't collect photo cards, I don't collect albums or anything like that, or buy merch. So anyway, it was okay. The jackets, I think I got one in extra large, and once I realized extra extra large wasn't working, I didn't even put it on. But like I got 3 different jackets in kind of that nice Tweety Chanel-esque inspired, I guess, fit, like a little bit boxy but classic. And I got those in extra extra large. They all fit in various stages of like not really, like I could get them all on, but they were all tight, could not close them, would feel uncomfortable, could never wear anything really under them aside from maybe like a light turtleneck. So really disappointed. Definitely could not wear my twin set. The only twin set, I think that's actually sweaters, but like my matching set, I guess. The only jacket out of those 3 that was in the full extended size range was the green one, and the skirt itself did not also have extended sizing, so you would have to get just the jacket if the extra extra large didn't fit you. And by the time I got it, like it actually sold out, and I just lucked out and managed to catch it when it came back in stock with like a 2X. So I went from an extra extra large to the 2X, skipping the 1X because that's not what came back in stock. And luckily it did work. It was actually like a pretty perfect fit, like the way that I want to wear this. Clearly I got the, not the 1X, the extra extra large on, and it was just tight. So I think the 1X would have worked, but what I like about having the 2X is that it's just like nice and loose and boxy the way, not loose, it's just nice and has that kind of like slight boxy look that you see. That's great for pairing with jeans and stuff, but also it's not so loose that I can't wear it with something really light underneath and thin, but it's still loose enough that I could probably wear like a thicker knit or like sweater underneath it and be comfortable still. So it's a little bit more versatile. So I really like it. The green is so beautiful, and I love the gold hardware. So I'm really excited that it worked out. Basically, that this entire was supposed to be a haul turned into kind of like size comparison and review of the extended sizing was not a total bust. That being said, I feel like overall I'm still excited. It's another store that I can buy from and get really cute, trendy, and even classic, because I would say this is a classic piece. I've loved them for years and I will continue to love them. And yeah, so overall I'm still excited. I think I mentioned that their sizing goes to 4X, which would generally be decently exciting for plus sizing. And like, I'm aware that I am kind of privileged in my plus size sizing, but the 4X is not much if they already run small. And like, maybe their measurements are just more realistic than places like J. Crew and Nordstrom and H&M, but it's not kind of standard for US sizing from what I'm finding. And so it's disappointing if you think, oh, I'm a 4X, and like it's actually more of like a 2X or a 2X and a half or 3X. And it is also a little bit disappointing that, as I mentioned, I can't even get the matching skirt or jacket that is, you know, included in the full extent of their sizing. So that's disappointing. And that's not even touching on the many options that don't even go to an extra extra large or the 14. So always exciting to have more options out there, but I wouldn't call this like fully inclusive by any means. So if you are kind of like similar size to me or a little bit bigger, like there are definitely more options for you, and that's a privilege. And then if you are a little bit smaller, then I think a lot of Mango's range has been extended to include the extra extra large, not all of it, but a lot of it. And then when it comes to me, I'm kind of limited to what they brought into their extended sizing. And then of course, like anything smaller than probably like a 14 or 12 can have like whatever is sold. So I would say this is really good if you're like a size 12, 14. Still pretty nice addition if you're like a size 16, 18. And then if you're above like an 18 or 20, as is like are so many people, but this is very typical, like they just didn't make it to be that inclusive. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that, you know, I didn't ruin the excitement for anyone, and that I, you know, could just be a resource in sizing, because every store is so different and it's hard to know, and it's definitely a struggle to place a big order and then not have anything work and then need to wait to get your money back, yada yada yada. So yeah, I will see you next time.